Yo, what's up, guys? How's it going? I'm gonna do another video today. I've had some people messaging me, asking me more about trading and how they can get started and whatnot. Really, this took me about 3 months, I would say, of training through an online platform, education platform, before I actually ever got to the place where I could start making some trades that were high probability trades. And all that means is you use a group of different confirmations to tell you the trade you're about to make has a high probability of going the way you're expecting. Without that, I will make a disclaimer here, guys. Without the proper training, you're gambling your money. Um, these markets move in patterns, and until you know what these patterns are and how they move, you're basically just throwing your money away without any understanding of why and how. So that's a really dangerous thing. So I decided to make another video kind of showing people how to view the markets the way I see them. So at the moment, I'm looking at the S&P 500 index. It's just a group of 500 most highly valued companies in the States. So this is the graph I'm looking at today. So to start out, I always start the same way. I like to start on the daily chart. The daily chart is representing that every candle here, every candlestick represents one day. So this is a pretty big view, in all honesty. Like where I'm sitting right here, if I hover my mouse over this spot, this is February 7th of 2018. So it's gone back quite a few months. So I'll show you how I look at the market. So on this one, yesterday I was analyzing it, and it was right here, and I actually ended up getting into a sell trade, and I'm going to tell you why. So I always start out this way. I always start to look for areas where the best entries happened. So if I was going to short this, which just means putting in a sell order, this area right here would have been a really good area to get into. Selling right there would have brought you all the way down to here. That's a massive sell, guys. Same here, even from here to here, good place. So I ended up putting in another spot right here. And then conveniently I was right here yesterday. So I decided to make a zone out of this, guys. This just means that these areas are zones where the market will typically change direction. So here I am, I'm putting a zone here, and just like that. Okay, just gonna make it go all the way across now. Okay, so we have a zone. So I made this zone yesterday. As you can see, imagine we were right here, because that's where we were yesterday when I was looking at this. So I realized I was in the zone. But that wasn't enough. I needed more confirmation to know that I wanted to put a sell order in here. Obviously this happened before. So we had our peak here. We came down. And so I could just draw this even. These are about the same height. From here to here, we saw that happening. We're expecting the same thing to happen. So I'll show you why I'm expecting the same thing to happen. So if I were to draw, let's go from here. I like to use trends, guys, so this is what I'm doing here. So if I were to draw a line like that, where there's 1 and 2 touches going there, it would be expected that the market would come down and touch the line again. So when I was right here, I drew this line and I realized that the market would want to come down, meet this line again, and shoot up again. It's typically what happens. So another thing was this. How we know we're in a trend, guys, is when the market comes down and it tests a line that was a previous resistance, and now it's a support. So for instance, the market couldn't go any higher here. It literally went up here, couldn't go any higher. So this was a place of resistance. So it came down and shot up past the spot of resistance. Okay. Now the way we know that this is a true uptrend is when we draw this little space of resistance here, and I'll show you. I'm just going to draw a few lines just to make a zone here. Move this up a little bit. So this zone anywhere in here would be the zone of where support or support is meeting resistance. So support just means this ceiling here becomes a floor here. And what we expect from that is we expect it to come down for it to hit this resistance, which was resistance here, make it a floor, and then shoot up. And that conveniently, this spot kind of conveniently landed right kind of on my line here. So that was another big confirmation for me to want to get in this trade. And to top it all off, guys, I was using this indicator down here, the MACD. This is just a representation of where volume is trading at. And in this, when yesterday it was about here, and that just means that you could see a divergence coming down here, and these moving averages crossing, representing that there's a shift in volume. So more people are now trading a sell rather than a buy. So that was a big confirmation for me also. And to top it all off, guys, I'm just going to make this quick. I'm going to show you. Oh yeah, here we go. I use Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands are great. Bollinger Bands, when I use them, the way I use them is, this is the mean. This is kind of like the in-between line right here, this one. But the market always goes underneath it or above it and has to come back to it. So you can see it happen here where it was out of the Bollinger Band. It had to come up. So it came up, went out of the Bollinger Band, went down, met this line, went up, went out of the Bollinger Band, went out of the Bollinger Band, went out of the Bollinger Band. See? So now it makes sense for me to expect that when it goes out of the Bollinger Band or comes close, it goes down. So right here we had it exit the Bollinger Band, and this was yesterday I saw this. I knew that this was coming down. All these confirmations were adding up perfectly. And so finally I got into a sell trade right here, and now it's been just going down consistently all day, and I've been in the blue all day in profit. So this was a really good trade, guys, and I'm expecting again for it to meet this line, and then I'm going to set up for another trade in the opposite direction for a buy. So it's going to be really well. I'll be watching this for a while, and I hope this helped, guys, for you guys to see kind of how I read the markets. Like I said, if you guys want to know more, just message me privately. I'd be willing to show you how I got started and how I ended up actually learning all of this. I don't mind taking some time showing some people. So, yep, thanks for listening, guys.